Hi guys and welcome to Lisa Loves. Getting the second of two videos out there tonight. This is going to be a tag. The tag was created by my buddy Sean Patrick Erschen, and I was actually tagged by Sean along with my horror hangout buddies. So I'm going to be looking over to the side a bit. Questions are on the laptop. Apologies if this doesn't run through really. This is like first time going through them. I've just so many videos to do, it's shocking. So there are 12 questions. This is the, what's it called? The modern horror tag, which is cool because I like I like to keep up with stuff that's coming out at the moment. So here we go. Number 1, what is your favourite modern horror film of the new millennium? I'm assuming he's meaning since 2000 onwards. And 2 that I'll mention. There's so many more than this, but just off the top of my head, I am a Saw addict. I love Saw. I recognise that the latter movies aren't as good as the earlier ones. I recognise that a lot of people just love the first one and not so much the rest. I personally adore the series. Will keep watching it to the death. It's just my thing. So Saw, but special mention must go to Hereditary for me. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I know a lot of people don't really like it. I personally adore that movie. So Hereditary and Saw. Number 2, who is your favourite modern horror icon of the new millennium? What have I written down here? Right, I really struggled with this because all the icons that I could think of that I love are all pre-2000. You know, all the big ones. One of my absolute favourites is Annie Wilkes from Misery. She just sneaks in before. So I couldn't pick her. I'm actually going to go a little bit out of left field here and pick someone from a TV show, if that's okay. I'm going with Negan from The Walking Dead because I absolutely love the bones of that man. He's awesome. Love the character. I could look at him all day long. He's beautiful. Negan from The Walking Dead. My favourite horror icon. Number 3. Do you agree with the decision to make The Conjuring a universe of spin-offs, or should it have been kept to its own franchise? The more horror movies, the better, guys. I do like the Conjuring whole idea. Spooky films are my thing. I love anything spooky and paranormal and all that stuff. So, personally for me, awesome. Love it. The more the better. I haven't seen The Nun as yet, purely because the reviews that are coming from everyone that I trust are pretty poor. I don't get out to the cinema a lot. When I do, it's on my own because we've got young son Isaac and no one to babysit. So I really pick and choose what I go to see quite carefully. So if I've been told something's terrible, I tend to wait on DVD. So that's why I haven't seen The Nun as yet. Right, so number 4, is It Follows a modern classic or a shameless rip-off of an 80s horror classic? It Follows for me. This movie got an awful lot of adulation when it came out. An awful lot of people thought it was like the best thing since sliced bread. Absolutely awesomely wonderful. There were a couple of scenes in that were proper creepy that I did really enjoy. I loved the imagery of, but as a whole, the movie for me was pretty meh. I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was awful. But I didn't absolutely love it, and I certainly don't think it was like, what was the question? I definitely don't think it's a modern classic, personally. That's just my own viewpoint, though. I know a lot of people really enjoy it. I think that one for me is just down to personal taste. For me, it just wasn't my bag. Number 5 was The Meg, a fun thrill ride, a cheesefest, a scary horror film, or a complete bust. I have friends from all those different areas of the spectrum. I loved it, so I am going to go for that first one, which was a fun thrill ride. I loved it. I love Jason Statham. I love the fact you can go and switch your brain off and just sit down and enjoy something that's just fun. Granted, if it had went with the original director Eli Roth, although he has done some crap, we have to admit that, it may have been more interesting if it was rated R. I was quite pleased that it came in the UK. It was rated 12A, which basically means, I think in America it's PG-13, is that right? 12A in the UK, but I see a lot of people in the US. Explain this to me, guys. In America, I've seen so many guys in America take their kids to see horror movies that are R-rated in America but would be 18 rated here. I don't understand how they're allowed in. in the UK we have ratings of, sorry for the deviation, but I need to understand this. We have ratings of U, which is universal, which means suitable for everyone, so cartoons. PG, it may have a little bit of peril in there, things like Ghostbusters. 12A, which means they recommend that it's suitable for kids around of about 12, but as a parent, if you wish to let your kids see these movies, that's fine as long as you're with them. So that's like Star Wars, the Marvel movies, the Meg was 12. Isaac wouldn't go see it. I was gutted. I wanted to bring him. He wouldn't go. He was too scared. Then there's the straight 12, where you must be 12 at least. 15, self-explanatory, you must be 15. 18, you must be 18. The 15 and 18, it doesn't matter if you've got an adult with you. You don't have to have, but you must be 18 or 15. And even if you have an adult, you must still be 18 or 15. So people are like taking kids to see things that are like 18s and it's like, how the hell? Over here they're not allowed in. Simple as that. So explain to me, guys. I don't get it. How does that work? So what? I'm deviated completely. So yeah, maybe the Meg would have been more interesting had it been a little bit more bloody and scary. But I enjoyed it for what it was. I found it a lot of fun. It's the sort of thing that when it comes up on telly, you can sort of sit down and generally watch it with your family, and there's not going to be anything unsuitable in there. So I liked it. Number 6, is the remake fad over, or are there still more classics you would like to see made today? If so, what films would you choose? I hate the remake thing. It's done well sometimes, granted. I'm not going to say they're all bad because they aren't. And as seen in the remake versus original tag that we did recently, some remakes are actually better than the originals. But as a whole, if I had to pick to have no remakes again ever, or loads, I'm going to pick none. I don't like remakes as a rule, especially in a big way. I do not like UK, well, it's usually American remakes of foreign movies, like, well, the biggest ones I can think of are The Grudge and The Ring. We've got Let the Right One In, the Swedish one, which was remade. Foreign horror movies seem to capture this real air of creepiness and this unsettling feeling that just does not translate properly to like UK or American cinema, in my opinion. And I think people really need to experience the original foreign version. It always seems to be slightly watered down in intensity when it's redone. I hate that. Also things like Carrie. Why in under God did they feel the need to remake Carrie? Poltergeist, one of my all-time favourites. My toes curl. I just don't like it. So just stop with the remakes, guys. Your Hereditary proves that you can come out with relatively novel concepts that go down really well. Franchises don't bother me so much. If you really like the franchise and you want, like me with Saw, some people with Halloween, others with Friday the 13th, if you want to go see more of those, fine, great, but don't remake classics. I mean, The Omen, really? It'll be Exorcist next. Someone's going to tell me they've remade Exorcist and I haven't seen it. I've seen that TV series which they did based on The Exorcist though. Number 7, do you prefer slow burns like The Babadook, Hereditary and A Quiet Place, or gorefests like Terrifier, Saw and Hostel? I really enjoy both, guys. I wasn't a fan of The Babadook, I have to admit. I think maybe not false advertising, but I expected something a bit different to what it was. Hereditary I adore, creeps me the hell out, specifically a few scenes. I'm not going to say anything because some people haven't seen it, but oh my goodness, there are a few scenes in that creep me the hell out. What were the other? A Quiet Place, amazing movie. Again, proof that there are novel concepts out there that can be done fantastically well, that can be fantastically successful. Love that movie. But Saw's my baby. I love Saw. My best mate Kelly loves Saw. She gets the love that I have for it. Hostel, not so much. I like Hostel. I like gore. I like gory movies, but I suppose it's how inventively it's done. I think the reason I like Saw so much is it's always done differently and it's quite inventive. I enjoy that. I quite like that. I also like the fact that there's justification as to why this is happening to the person, and there is that opportunity for them to escape. So it's never a cut and dry, you know what's going to happen because you don't know what's going to happen. So I can't choose between those two because I love both. I'm trying to think if you forced me to choose, but I don't want you to force me to choose. I need both in my life, so I'm going to say both. Number 8. Do you feel The Walking Dead TV series has run its course, or is there still plenty of gas left in the tank? I did a vlog or a video about this a few months ago. One of the first videos I did actually when I started YouTube. It's run its course. It ran its course a long time ago. I was talking to my husband about this last night, and the one thing I did say is, I think it was season 3, the season in the prison, I got really bored with it and I stopped watching for a season, and then I didn't watch it for a while, and then there was loads of talk on Facebook about Negan and about, oh my god, that shocking episode, oh it was awful, everybody was hating on Negan. I didn't know who Negan was, so I went back and started watching it again, and I got caught up, and Negan happened, and I love the character. I was proper back into The Walking Dead again, and Michonne, absolutely loved her. I was in love with the thing all over again. Then we had, what's the king called with the big tiger? I loved all that, but I feel again we're starting to go down that that road. Oh, I should have brought a drink upstairs. Yeah, I do think it needs to stop now. It did come back, it had a bit of a resurgence for me personally, but especially with Rick leaving now. He's, after the next season, he's gone. And I think we're getting that guy Shane back that disappeared, his mate that had the affair with his wife. I think he's coming back in. I didn't like that character, so that's not good. I'll torment myself with it anyway. I'll probably watch it. But yeah, I don't know why I do it. I'm a glutton for punishment. Number 9. Old franchises like Halloween and Terminator are bringing back the original characters and actors. What other classic series do you think this could work for? I can't remember what I said. Right, I thought and I thought and I thought and I thought, and I could not think of a franchise because it says series, doesn't it? Yeah, what other classic series? I couldn't think of any that I would like to see back. The only movie that I would love to see a follow-up to in a big way is Misery. I would love for Annie Wilkes to get her claws into Paul Sheldon all over again. Obviously, could they some way could she haunt him? I don't know. I don't know how it's possible, but I would like to see it again because I love those two characters so much. But there's no series that I want to see come back again with the original actors, because most of them are still continuing, and any that aren't ran their course long ago, so no. Number 10, does the vampire genre have a place in the modern era? Of course it does. Sean actually mentioned in his answers What We Do in the Shadows. Oh, that film is amazing. If you have not seen What We Do in the Shadows, it's a comedy movie about several different descriptions of vampires. You know, we've got the Nosferatu type, we've got the very romantic, like, Interview with the Vampire type. There's all different types of vampire. We don't have the sparkly one from Twilight, thank Christ. But yeah, it's a comedy about these vampires all having to live together. There's also werewolves in it. It's so original, it's so funny. Check it out. But we've got, in this millennium, we've got 30 Days of Night. That was awesome. We've got Let the Right One In, which was awesome. Had I written any more down? That's the ones I've written. Let the Right One In, What We Do in the Shadows, and 30 Days of Night. I mean, they're proof enough that there's place for the vampires. I would like... Oh! Something's just occurred to me. That previous question about series that I would like to see Blade come back. That was... I like the stylistic way that was shot. I love the music in it, and I love the very fast, deliberate fight scenes in it. I'd quite like to see that back again. Where am I? Number 11, only 2 left. What is your favourite ghost story or haunted house film of the new millennium? This is my favourite sort of thing, guys. Haunted house stuff. Right, there are so many. What have I written? Can I pronounce this properly? Guillermo del Toro. Oh my god, that man's movies are just fantastic. The Devil's Backbone is one of my favourite ever ghost stories, modern ghost stories. I adore that movie. The Orphanage, another Spanish movie, proper creepy, spooky, kind of, I think they're kind of emotional movies. They sort of get to you on a personal level, and that's maybe why they appeal to me so much. The Ring movies, the Japanese versions, not the remakes. Although, to be fair, the remakes weren't that bad. They could have been an awful lot worse, but I love the original Ringu. Absolutely amazing. But yeah, hopefully that'll answer that one for you. That was 3. Lastly, your thoughts on Stranger Things. Is it a modern masterpiece or just nostalgia and fan service? I'm afraid I have to totally and utterly disagree with Sean on this. Sorry, Sean. I think he said he liked the series, but he didn't feel it was that accurate as someone that grew up in the 80s. And it was a bit like enough with the nostalgia already sort of thing. I can't get enough of the 80s nostalgia thing. I adore it. Like Summer of 84 that we had. Loved it. You know, the resurgence of it being made again, and they changed it from, was it the 50s originally to the 80s? But they tend to do that. I mean, you get that thing where they tend to make movies based 30 years prior. Like we had, when It was made, the original it was set back in the 50s. Back to the Future had to take a trip back. What was the other? Stand By Me. There was this real fashion of doing movies set usually 30 decades. 30 decades, Jesus Christ. 30 years, 3 decades back. And we're going through that again, and no doubt in the 2020s we'll maybe go back to the 90s, who knows. But I can't get enough of the 80s nostalgia. I was a child in the 80s. I wasn't like, yeah, I would have like been like my early childhood getting into early teens as we exited the 80s. So I kind of grew up through it. I started watching horror movies in the 80s. I feel that Stranger Things is pretty spot on with it. I love the whole feel of it. It's that whole warm, cuddly feeling you had as a kid on a Saturday night, sitting down with your folks to watch a horror. And there was nothing complicated in the world to you back then. You were a kid and you were out on your bikes, and I love it. I love Stranger Things, but that's maybe a personal thing for me. I love the nostalgia kick. Because it's a nostalgia that means a lot to me, and it probably is the one decade you could choose personally from my life that I would love to see represented. You've got things like even sitcoms, the Goldbergs, that's set in the 80s, and it's brilliant, it's awesome. If you set something in the 70s, I wouldn't remember it. I was like a baby and a toddler. The 90s, really the decade that style and taste forgot. I was like a ridiculous teenager in that era, but the 80s, oh, just such warmth for the 80s. I love it. So I've waffled for way too long, but that is Sean's modern horror tag finished, complete. I'm looking at who he's tagged. So he's tagged all our horror buddies, Monty G, Random Horror, HorrorFan34. I am going to tag Jen's Reviews from the Grave, Jen and Christian. I am going to tag Boogeyman Ben. I will tag Movie Review Time, that's HorrorFan34's pal, and he's done quite a few tags for us recently too. I'm going to leave it there. I'm just going to tag those people that I've just mentioned. So yeah, but if I'm sure Sean wants this tag to go as far and wide as it can, so if you want to do it and you haven't been mentioned by anyone else, by all means use my name and say that I said anyone that fancies, because we all in the community like to see what each other thinks of all the movies and our tastes, and that's why we do this, guys. You know, it's why we all started in the first place. It's why we like to talk. We like to share these things. So get it done if you fancy. So I will leave that one there before I waste... How long have I... Well, oh my god, I apologise. That's double the length I wanted this to be. So yeah, that is the modern horror tag. Let me know what you thought of my answers. Have a little argue with me. Don't mind. And that'll do me for now. It's over and out from Lisa Lives.